I really don't know how to start this video. I don't feel like my usual like hello my loves intro is fitting, so I'm just gonna start talking. This is so weird. This is probably the weirdest paranormal video, the weirdest video I've ever filmed, because for once, like, all of this is happening within the span of, I think, maybe 72 to 48 hours. I have no rational explanation for 99% of this. A lot of the times in my paranormal videos, you guys will see, I like to kind of explain things away, and I'm really good at making up excuses even when I can't explain things away for why something strange happened to me. And even if I talk about it and I like tell you that it's paranormal, it's like I still explain it away in my head. I can't explain any of what's happening right now, but I do know it's all really bad. I also know this is probably not going to be a very fun video. A lot of these you guys love because they scare you. This is going to be scary, but I don't know. I have no conclusion. This is ongoing. I don't know. I feel like I need to talk about this and get it out of my head, or else I'm gonna go freaking crazy. So I think all of this would have kind of started, like I said, within the last 72 to 48 hours. It's all been a massive blur for me. And if you've kind of been watching my social media, I don't know when this is going up, but I know that I've been really quiet lately, and it's because I have been under a lot of stress. I've been kind of traveling back and forth a lot lately, just dealing with some personal things and some family issues and a lot of really stressful things, nothing too serious, just kind of taking care of business. I got back from this past trip. Everything just felt weird, and I don't know how to explain this. I've just had a strange past couple of days, but nothing really paranormal, nothing I would have come on here and told you guys about. And then when all of this began was when my cat, Kiki, my black cat, who you guys probably see in the background of a lot of my videos, had a really terrible accident that I still am not sure how I'm going to tell the story of. It's not for this video because that's a very serious video, and I kind of want to make sure that Kiki recovers properly before I go into that story. And the doctors say she needs about 10 to 14 days before we see the full extent of her injury. Somehow my cat made it out of this horrific thing with just bruises and some really sore spots. She doesn't have any fractures. None of her internal organs are damaged. But if you are someone who has pets, and if you know me, I love animals. I love animals so much. I have a literal zoo in my apartment. I really love animals, and Kiki is like my kid, really and truly. The first like day after she goes into the hospital, that entire day, I was just beside myself. I don't remember the last time I cried that hard. It was so traumatic for her, and I felt so terrible. It killed me to see my baby in pain. Luckily, after that day kind of passed, I knew that she was okay, she was stable, and she was gonna come home the next day. And that's kind of when all of this started, is kind of right after Kiki's accident. And I'm not saying, of course, I don't feel like I can ever say whether or not that was like, that had a helping hand whatsoever in terms of like paranormal stuff. I think that probably makes me sound crazy. Like, I don't think like that, but I do think that negative energy feeds on negative energy, and there is a whole lot of negative energy right now. The day that Kiki went into the hospital, I had gotten home and I had taken a shower, and when I got out of the shower, I was just kind of like combing through my hair. You can see it's just doing its thing because I can't bring myself to do anything with it now. My bathroom is really freaking me out. So when I was in the bathroom combing through my hair, I heard this really deep, like guttural sound, and it sounded like talking. Like, it sounded like someone was talking right over my shoulder, like literally over my shoulder. And I was looking into the mirror and like doing my hair, so I knew that there was no one behind me. So I kind of called out to Christian because he's the only other person in my apartment, and he didn't answer. And I went into his room and he had on his headphones, and so no noise was coming from like his computer or anything. The TV wasn't on. My dogs had never made sounds like that, and they were all downstairs, so it was like right over my shoulder. I heard this like growling, talking noise, saying things I couldn't, like, it's almost, I don't know how to explain this, but it didn't sound like words that I knew. It really freaked me out, but I kind of thought, okay, well, I was in my bathroom and there's like a vent. And a lot of what has happened to me, I have blamed on the fact that I live in an apartment now. Even though my walls are really thick, even though my neighbors can never hear me, I can never hear them, I blame a lot of the paranormal or weird things that I experience on the fact that I live in an apartment. And it was kind of over the shoulder that I had heard that growling from, so I thought it must have just come from the vent, and I just sort of explained it away. And so I went about my day, I went to my bed and I combed out my hair and did like all my hair care stuff on my bed instead of staying in the bathroom because it was just weirding me out. I went to bed that night. I wound up having a glass of wine because I was so stressed out. I stay away from alcohol pretty much 90% of the time just because it's like, I don't know, I never really went through a party girl stage, and I feel like anything that I was experiencing with that, I kind of already got out of my system. So I'd had a glass of wine, which made me really, really sleepy. I am 50 years old, thank you for asking. And I went to bed that night. I woke up at 6 a.m., which never happens to me. I wake up at like 9, completely discombobulated. I try to wake up at 8:30. I usually don't really wake up at 8:30. I always wake up at 9 because I'm pathetic in the morning. I had gone to bed, I think at like 2 or so, but I woke up at 6 and I heard that sound again. That was what had kind of like startled me awake. And I had heard that noise again, and I was like looking around my room and there was no one in there with me. You guys are gonna think I'm really mean, but I banished my dogs downstairs at night because for some reason Annie is still having a lot of like issues with her potty training. When we kind of relocated, it's like everything she'd ever learned went out of her head, and she likes to pee on carpet, and down here it's all hardwood. So she doesn't have accidents down here, but she will come upstairs and immediately pee on the carpet. So I completely leave her downstairs and I leave Maka with her, along with Morty, our little rescue chihuahua that I'm currently fostering. I leave them all downstairs. Morty is a boy dog. He will pee over where Annie pees. And then Maka is just like, she's the best dog on planet Earth, the most well-trained, like well-behaved dog. But like she gets really anxious without Annie in sight, and Annie gets very anxious without Maka. They're very bonded. And so everyone just stays downstairs and it makes it a lot easier. And so none of them were in there. Long story very short, I know I'm kind of rambly today. None of the cats were in there to the best of my knowledge. Maybe they were, but it didn't sound like it came from one of my animals. It was that grumbling, like talking sound, and it sounded like it was coming from my bathroom. Oh my God, you guys, I don't want to sound totally crazy, but the placement of where I was hearing these sounds is very, very, how do I explain this? Like, it's kind of roughly where Kiki had her accident. It wasn't in the bathroom, but like where I heard these sounds coming from was where Kiki had her accident. I really didn't put that into each other. I heard that noise again. I turned on my lights. I was already wide awake at 6 a.m. and I was like, what the heck? So I went ahead and I started getting ready for my day because I had to pick up Kiki from the animal hospital at 10. Lo and behold, they had to run a couple more tests just to make sure she was completely fine to come home. So it was a little bit later than that. So I was just kind of cleaning around the apartment, kind of kept going through my day, and nothing substantial was really happening for a while. And then from this room, like this office, like beauty room, whatever, the room that I film in, I heard music. And I walked in here because I was really confused, and my laptop was open and there was a track on iTunes playing. I never leave open my laptop. Like, I never leave open my laptop at night ever because I have cats, I have animals. They're gonna step on it and like do things. None of the animals were in this room. Like, no one had stepped on the laptop. I don't know. The screen was also black. So like if somebody had or something had like pressed play, it would have lit up. It's like the music started playing and the computer was black, and I don't know, because the minute that I like shook the mouse, it came on too. It was really, really, really bizarre. And again, just didn't think anything of it. There are so many other things that have happened. My door upstairs, my bathroom door slammed shut and I could hear it all the way from down here. Went upstairs. I don't know. That's never happened before, ever in my house, so I don't think it was air or anything like that. I just keep hearing a lot of noises, and really nothing that would have been out of the ordinary, because I feel like I go through spells of time, and what's so weird is I've gone through a very large spell of time now where I didn't really have a lot of paranormal stuff happening. It's been about like a 2.5-ish month dry spell of not really a lot of like paranormal things. Nothing more than like noises in the middle of the night, or you know, just like footsteps occasionally, but nothing like that I'm not used to, and nothing that I can't explain away. So yeah, the door slamming, footsteps, hearing that sound, and I was like on the lookout for it, and I kept asking my brother, like I kind of told him about this and was asking him, is there anything that you can think of that would have been making that sound? And he said no. Yeah, so nothing else really other than that. I pick up Kiki, she comes home, she's obviously very, very sick and very weak, and thank God she is not, I don't know how she made it out of what she went through without severe, severe, severe like issues. Like literally, I thought when I took her to the vet that day, the day before, I thought she was going to be put down. I did not think she was going to survive, and somehow she did, because she's a freaking fighter, man. So I brought her home, and a lot of my time has been spent with Kiki. It has been spent with giving her medicine. She currently has to take 5 doses of medicine a day, and they're all liquid, so I have to shoot them into her mouth with like little syringes and stuff. And along with that, making sure that her bowel movements are normal, as gross as that is, because that can indicate like some organ failure and stuff like that. I have to make sure she's eating properly, drinking properly. So a lot of my time is going into Kiki. Kiki is my brother's cat, really more than mine. She is obsessed with him. She loves his room, and that's where she is 99% of the time. So that's where she is right now. So I've been kind of going in and out. And I had gone upstairs to go and check on her again, and I walked into my room, and I heard that sound from over my shoulder the minute that I walked into my room. Again, the placement of that sound being very indicative of where she had her accident. I don't know, that time I whipped around, nothing was there clearly. The minute that I turned, it stopped, and it just sounds like this growling sound where like somebody is talking, but I can't understand what they're saying, and it's so creepy and so unexplainable, and I keep trying to think of excuses and I can't think of any. And so that had happened, and I just kept thinking that I was just really tired. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just really stressed out. There's a lot happening right now, and I'm probably just imagining it. And then last night happened, and that's when I knew that something really bad is happening. Something is really, really, really wrong. Last night I tweeted that I had woken up at 5 a.m. and I had no clue why. But I woke up at 5 a.m. with no alarms going off, nothing like that. Again, that is so unlike me. And my initial thought, the minute that my eyes opened, was look in the bathroom. I don't know why that was my thought at all. At first, I'm like, why would I look into the bathroom? And it's almost like, you know how you wake up and you think, oh my God, I have to pee. Or you wake up and like, it's because you're worried about something. And it's like, if I had woken up at 5 a.m., it would have been like, oh, I need to go check on Kiki. You know what I mean? But I woke up and I thought, I need to look into my bathroom. And that's what I kept thinking, look into the bathroom, look into the bathroom. And I did not want to, because the bathroom in my room is where a lot of these things kind of, it's kind of close to where all of this is taking place, you know what I mean? But I look in, and the minute that I do, the bottom light sensor comes on. And I was telling you guys how in this apartment, I have a light sensor under my sink, that basically comes on when it senses motion. It came on like that. And it has not done that in such a long time. That's what I've been talking about. Like the fact that it's been such a quiet few months of zero paranormal stuff, zero weird things, that seeing that light just come on like that in my pitch black bedroom when no one was in my room, no animals, nothing, was really, 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 really weird. And the minute that I looked at my bathroom, the light came on. And in that moment, I just got this really awful, like really bad, like sinking feeling. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I just felt like something horrible was about to happen. Or I don't know, that something horrible had happened. So my initial thought is I get out of bed and I go check on Kiki, and Kiki's totally fine. I check on all of the dogs. I check on my brother. I make sure everyone's okay. My brother asks why I'm up at 5 a.m. I text my mom. I make sure that everyone in my life is okay, because I don't know why I suddenly have this awful like pit in my stomach feeling that something horrible is about to happen. Around like, I would say 6, I finally kind of lay back down and I go back to sleep, because I had not slept very much at that point. I just kept having this feeling that I wasn't alone. I didn't see anything else. My bathroom light didn't go off again. It was starting to get a little bit lighter outside, but I just had this feeling that I wasn't alone. I don't think I've ever been this freaked out before. I don't think that I've ever felt this unsafe in my own place. I don't know. It's so bizarre. My other cat, Lupin, pretty much like all of the time stares up into the balcony of my apartment. If you guys saw my apartment tour on my second channel, terrible timing, terrible plug. But if you did, you kind of know roughly what I'm talking about, and that's where Kiki's accident was. And again, I will tell that entire story, I promise you, because I think it's so important to kind of spread awareness about it. The metro just passed by and it had a freaking advertisement for the Emoji Movie, and at least that made me laugh for a second. Yeah, I'll go into it and everything. I feel so weird, and I've had to explain the story so many times and I'm so sick of talking about it, that I just want to make sure my cat is okay before I tell this story. And also because I don't know, there's so many details. But so Lupin keeps looking up there and his eyes will get really big, and it seems like he keeps like staring at things that aren't there. My other cat, Lily, walks around all of the time meowing at the top of her lungs, and that's not really rare. She is kind of like a puppy cat. Like, she follows me around a lot and like meows at me and tells me about her day, and she's precious. I should do an adoption. I need to fill you guys in on so much stuff, I'm sorry. But lately it's like these past few days, she like yells like she's in pain. And at first I thought that maybe she just really missed Kiki. And so I kind of like introduced them back to where Lily was in my full control, just so she didn't like hurt Kiki. And she was not interested, like ran the other way, because they're not really like close. She's bonded with her brother Lupin. It's really weird. It'll be like she'll go, it's like she'll just start crying, and it's bizarre. My dogs are really agitated. I don't know. I don't know. My guinea pigs aren't agitated, but they're also the best animals on earth. So I guess that's really all I wanted to say. That's pretty much it for right now. With the way that this is happening, I'm sure that there's going to be an update to this really soon. I just never, and I feel like I experienced a very dark like spirit. I think personally that what I dealt with in my old haunted house, my one that I told so many stories about, where a TV was thrown at me and where I experienced all of those paranormal things, I think that that may have been demonic, but I'm not sure. But I just have such a bad feeling about whatever is happening right now. And if you don't believe in paranormal stuff, you might think I'm crazy, and that's totally fine. I might be going insane. I really don't know. This whole thing is really scary. I'm really freaked out right now. I am going to wait and give Kiki her last dose of medicine, and then Christian's gonna stay here, and I'm gonna go to the barn and go hang out with the horse and all of the goats and horses and stuff in the barn. Recently somebody brought in rabbits, and I want to go into a coma every time I see them because they're so cute. This is a really inconclusive story, so I don't know. But that's it. And if you have any thoughts on how I can sort of help this situation, definitely let me know, because I am definitely not looking for, you know, people's opinions in terms of like, is this paranormal, is this not? Because I know what I personally believe, and I really can't explain away 99% of this. I'm more so looking for like advice on what to do, and probably talking about it and acknowledging it is the first thing not to do, but I don't know what else to do because I feel like I'm losing my mind. I love you guys. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for being concerned with Kiki on social media. I will make sure to continue to update you. I love you. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, you can give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, but I feel weird asking for thumbs up on this, so I don't know. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time. I just feel so weird doing things this normal because I feel like life is so weird right now. I'm gonna go. I love you guys so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.